Who decided this?
Cool. What's up? I just this past summer I learned what my Korean name means. For those that don't know, Korean names, they all have like a secondary meaning. It's because it's like kind of built off of Chinese characters and meanings. So my Korean name Hanjo, I discovered it means projecting fire beam. All right. So my Korean name means projecting fire beam. My Korean name means laser beam. That's it's pretty cool. I'm not going by Cooper anymore, I'm going by Laserbeam Kim, so you will address me as such. I told my mom that, and she didn't know what my middle name meant either, actually, because my grandparents gave me the middle name. She was like, oh, that's interesting. She goes, oh, Laserbeam, maybe that's why you're so bright, Cooper. I was like, oh, all right. Like a flashlight? She was like, never mind, I spoke too soon. You dumbass. Speaking of Asian women, my sister is addicted to shopping. Anyone else addicted to shopping? Yeah? Okay. Not in that conventional sense where it's like you're just shopping in class. Like my sister once stole my mom's credit card and bought like $1,000 worth of clothes. Yeah. It's like a serious problem, right? So I kind of wish she just did drugs, if I'm being honest. Like instead, not at the same time. Like she wouldn't be doing drugs and also be addicted to shopping. Just like someone fucking coked out in like a Target, just it's right in here. No, I wish she did drugs instead, because people who do drugs, right, like when you see them every time, they look worse because drugs has an effect on your body. So you can be like, hey man, you look worse, you gotta stop doing drugs. But because my sister's addicted to shopping, every time I see her, she looks better. Like every time she comes home, I'm like, damn, you look fresh as fuck, dude. Are those Jordans? Those are really nice, damn. Rock bottom is described as like the worst point for an addict, right? It's like the lowest they can go. It's the point where they realize like they have a problem. For people who are like have a drug addiction, like rock bottom might look like this. Like they might wake up someplace they don't know, they don't remember last night, they're missing clothes, they have cuts over their body. What's rock bottom for my sister? She wakes up with all the clothes. She's like Gucci slides on. She's like, no, this is actually pretty nice. Like I'm not gonna stop. She's never gonna stop, right? It's a serious issue. Like I realized it's a serious issue one time when she's been asking me for money. And so for context, like she's like 4 years older than me. She like has like a job, right? Like it's bad when someone's asking a college student for money, right? It's like I had Pop-Tarts for a meal 5 times this week. Like I'm not rolling in dough exactly. She'll Venmo request me and try to be like secretive about asking for money. Like the caption will be like, need gas money. But I have her location on my phone. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh really, like Nordstrom has gas? Interesting. Is that the new collection or something? She does very specific amounts. Like the amount she asked was like the captions need gas money, and she's requesting $7.63. I'm like, hold on, you want 2.52 gallons? What, are you gonna drive around the block? What the fuck is that? To be clear, I just wanted to say that my sister is addicted to shopping for clothes, right? Like that would be weird if she was addicted to like grocery shopping. Like, I can't stop buying bananas.
Let's up and go! Let's up and go! I want to know why. You open a bag of Fritos and you put it on some beef, all of a sudden the taco walks now. Who decided this? Who decided this? What person was like, all of a sudden these tacos can go outside and have a nice freeing mind experience? They could just go outside with their families. We're gonna have taco walk lanes here pretty soon. The taco cops are gonna be out clicking them. It's gonna be bad. I'm telling you, it's gonna be bad. I wanna know if they have one of those Apple Watches, the tacos. I want to know what their step count is. That's what I want to know. It's got to be a world record. I mean, it's not even close to anyone else. There's no human being that walks that crazy. I want to know what it looks like when it sits down. What does the taco look like? I want to know what it looks like when it takes a seat. That's what I want to know. Taco families. I wonder what that's like. I wonder if it's anything like my family. You know my family, right? My family, we went to a museum one time, the one in DC, what's the one in New York? The Natural History Museum. We went there. We're walking around. We walk into the evolution area. We look over. It's got the wax Neanderthals. That's how you pronounce it. That's how you. And my dad, he came up behind me. It was such a nice, touching moment. He put his arm around my shoulder. He looked at me and he said, "Son." He said, "They're almost as hairy as you." That's a tough thing for a 12-year-old to hear. I knew I was early mature. I had the hair here and here, you know. But that's a tough thing to hear. But you know what? I think it made me better. It made me realize to embrace my hairiness. I think we all should do that. Embrace our hairiness. I remember one time we've all been in the locker room at the gym, haven't we? We've all been there. As soon as I walked in, it was after a rough workout. I'm at the co-rec. I walk right in. My 67-year-old physics professor just gone. Towel nowhere to be seen. I think me and Mr. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to reveal his identity. I'm afraid one of you has had him. But it made me realize when I saw that, I connected with myself to the Natural History Museum. I said, this is good. No, this is good. This is a man that's obviously embracing his hairiness. And I want to be just like him and embrace my hairiness, whether I'm 12 or 67. Thank you.
Hey guys, so I'm a freshman. I've only been on campus for 7 or 8 weeks. And one of the first things I noticed as I've been on campus is the bookstore. Like, you walk in the bookstore, you're trying to get like a book, because it's called the fucking bookstore, and you get some shit that says like Purdue Grandpa or something like that. There's a lot of like bad names of stores around here, like the Harry's Chocolate Shop or whatever that place is. Man, that place sells beer, bro. That's a bar. I'm trying to get some fucking... That's like, okay, out of all foods, beer and chocolate is probably the polar opposite of each other. And then don't get me started on XXX, man. You should have seen the look of disappointment on my face when I walked in there. Because I ain't even gonna lie, when I walked in there, I was trying to see some titties or something like that. Speaking of titties, one of my favorite subjects. No, so, I thought, I'm in college now. I thought, I imagined how college would go. It'd be easy to like meet girls. It'd be easy to like get into a relationship or something. But it's been a little rough. It's hard to meet people here. But there is this one girl in my chem recitation, and she's cute. I'm gonna try to like get to know her. I even passed her the attendance sheet the other day. I'm making some big moves out here. I'm sliding in there. Yes, sir. Yeah. and part of my confidence came from one of my coworkers at my job back home. Yeah, he used to tell me, he's like, "Hey man, when you get to college, you're gonna have sex with 30 girls in the first month." And yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, okay, you're gonna wake up one morning and you're like itchy where you're not supposed to be, and that's just gonna ruin the rest of your life, man. That's not the way to do things. But yeah, that was kind of a weird compliment. And the next thing he told me was, "Hey man, when you have sex, I want you to think of me." Okay. If I get lucky, one day it's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna set the mood, turn the lights down, and then I'm gonna think of this hairy man in the back of a seafood restaurant, and that's just gonna ruin it. Did I mention this guy's 30? So, okay, imagine this. A 30-year-old man, right? I was 17, telling a 17-year-old boy to think of him when he's having sex. Doesn't that seem weird? Like, that's really weird, right? Anyway, damn, this is kind of traumatic a little bit. But anyway, so, you know, people like that got me missing my home state, you know? I'm from Florida. I feel like a lot of people, yeah, shout out Florida, you know what I'm saying? No, I feel like a lot of people misunderstand the Florida man, you know what I'm saying? People think he's crazy. People think, you know, people don't understand what's going on in his head. They don't understand his psyche. I had an experience like this the other day. I was hanging out with my friend Sam, and I was annoying him a little bit, you know, I was being a bit of a jerk. And he goes to me, hey man, look, the Florida's not really working for me right now. I'm like, bro, you're stereotyping me based off the state I'm from? Like, is that really fair? Like, I am not, like, I just felt so hopelessly, like, offended by that. Like, what am I gonna say back? This guy's from Wisconsin. What am I gonna say back to that? I'm gonna say, yeah, that's something you would say, you, like, cheese curd. That doesn't work very well. I don't know. You know, I tell myself that, you know, Wisconsin's not that interesting, so, you know, Florida's just more interesting. You can come up with more stuff to say about it. That's just what I tell myself. But yeah, I started thinking about this a little bit. I was thinking maybe the reason why I can't meet girls here is because maybe there's a stereotype against Florida people, you know. People see my hair, people see that I'm from Florida, and they're like, oh, that's a red flag. I don't want to talk to that guy. It's like, that's just like, you know, that's like my buddy Sam. He's part of the problem, right? You're part of the problem, Sam. He's right up there. He's wearing a blue shirt.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, to be honest, I'm probably not even ready for a relationship. You know, I got 4 years, and I made this little litmus test. You know, you can ask yourself to see if you're ready or you're not ready for a relationship. And it's very simple. It goes like this. There's one question. What would you do if you caught your significant other cheating on you? Okay? Now, there's some people on some, like, simp shit who will say something like, yeah, I'd be mad at them for a while, but eventually I'd forgive them and I'd move on. I disagree with that. You know, I'm part of the other camp. I'm part of the camp that's like, oh yeah, I'm busting in there with the AR. I'm killing both of them, and then I'm killing myself right in front of them. That's my camp. So, does that sound like I'm ready for a relationship? Probably not. Yeah, but, you know, speaking of people I want to kill, top of my list is Tom Holland. Now, I know y'all like Tom Holland. Okay, a little crowd interaction here. I'll give y'all 2 guesses why I want to kill Tom Holland. Raise of hands. 2 guesses. That person. Absolutely right, man. She was meant for me. She was meant for me. Man, I was thinking about this. I was thinking, how am I going to kill Tom Holland? I'm getting serious about this. How am I going to kill Tom Holland? I was thinking I could stab him, but, like, he's British. He'd see that shit coming. That's probably part of his, like, daily school commute. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I mean, all right, I'm out of stuff. I gotta go. I'm traveling back to Florida tomorrow. I gotta find out how I'm gonna fit my Zendaya body pillow in my bag. So, see y'all.
Hey, how are we doing tonight? Yeah, why are you lowering the lights? Damn. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Is it nice? I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit too sexual. I don't know. Okay. All right. You good? All right. So one thing that I really hate are car commercials, especially the one about family road trips. The reason why they bother me so much is because the family is always happy, and the family is never happy in actual road trips. All right. The parents want to kill themselves. The kids are screaming for God knows how long, but no, they always advertise it like this, and let me paint a picture for you. Experience a luxury Jeep. Dad, I just want to say how much I love you. Son, I love you too, and I love you too, Diana. Oh, Jeff, I love you as well. And it's because this car, we're one big happy family. You know, that's how they always advertise it, but if they want a realistic version, they should advertise it like this. Experience the luxury Jeep. Dad, I'm hungry. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! You know how long we've been on this road, huh? Shan, I hate you. Why hate you too? I never wanted to be in this marriage. You know how much this has hurt me? Hey, fuck up. For only $29.99. But they never do it. It's never realistic. Another thing that's been bothering me are the delivery robots. Because the thing about the delivery robots, right, is that people are always happy to see them. I was walking with a group of friends, and we saw one, and one of them said, "Oh, they must be so happy." I was like, what the fuck? First of all, if we're putting emotions on things that aren't even alive, do you know how much the teddy bear would suffer? You know, you see the teddy bear in the store and you're like, oh, it looks so happy. But in reality, it's like, help me, I can't move any of my limbs, I'm suffering. And then you buy the teddy bear, and then like you go home and you know, the dog's like chewing it up like, you know, and then like it loses an arm and then it's like this on the ground. Oh my god! What the fuck? Okay, alright, I can get out of this. Oh shit! I can't move any of my limbs! No! Alright, so if that's a teddy bear, then how do you think the delivery robot is gonna be? The thing that's delivering food 24 hours a day, staring at a concrete wall 8 hours until some hungry motherfucker decides it's a good time to get yogurt, right? It's probably gonna be like this. Somebody help me! Please! Okay, alright, I stopped. I'm good. Oh my god, no! Please! I don't want to do this! Okay, alright, I'm good. Oh my god! Okay, anyways. I think I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately. And I've been watching some instructional videos, you know, like how to be like Brad Pitt and get his charisma. Or like how to be like Zendaya, like the other guy was talking about. Yeah, but I think it's getting a little bit too specific. They're making too many of them. It's gonna get to a point where it's gonna be like, how to be like Helen Keller. Step 1, gouge your eyeballs out. Step 2, take Q-tips and shove them down your ears. Once you can't see or hear anything, you're good to go. How to be like Hitler. Step 1, be racist. Step 2, be into blonde chicks that want to kill themselves for you. And step 3, be a good public speaker and have a good attitude. It's gonna get to that point, man. All right, this is my last joke. It's dedicated to a very special friend. So I was with this friend, and we were in a psychology class together. And we had to come up with a solution to how to get a drug addict off of drugs, using positive reinforcement. And for those of you who don't know positive reinforcement, it's basically rewarding a behavior and trying to keep that behavior going, right? So I'm sitting with this group of people, and we're like all brainstorming, coming up with all these solutions, trying to figure out like how we can get this person off of drugs. And my friend, I'll never forget what she said. She looks at me and she's like, what if we give her a piece of candy every time she doesn't take drugs? And wow, what the fuck? First of all, let's analyze that sentence bit by bit, all right? If I'm a meth addict and I have a choice between meth and Kit Kat, what the fuck do you think I'm gonna choose? All right, that's all I got time for. Thank you so much.
I feel like it's bright.
Howdy, everyone. So when I was a sophomore in high school, I had like a minor bed pissing problem. I was pretty decent at hiding it, but you know, every once in a while I couldn't, and I would just blame the dog, which I feel like is the right thing to do. I feel like he wouldn't mind. The problem was my mom got tired of washing sheets, and because I kept blaming the dog, she wanted to take him to the vet to see what was wrong with him. And I thought about coming clean, but I realized I couldn't do that. So I let her take him to the vet. So got to the vet. The vet takes a look at him, they take him in the back, and then they put my dog down. Which, like, if you think about it, that's gotta be like the worst sequel to Air Bud ever, you know? like there's Air Bud Golden Receiver, Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch, and then Air Bud Framed and Wrongfully Executed. I realized later I should have blamed my sister's cat. And not just because I don't like cats, but at least a cat would have lasted me 9 days while I figured it out. I didn't know this, I don't know if you guys do, but apparently when dogs are put down, they release their bowels or they shit themselves in the layman's terms. And when that happened, I saw it as my opportunity to pay it forward, so I was like, that was me, guys. It's a big E flag, you know? Scratch my back, I gotta scratch his. On a real note though, it was a really dark day, you know? My mom was crying, sisters were crying, my dad was crying, but I was just really nervous. I was super pale. I was acting like Muhammad Ali after he got Parkinson's. My dad was like, hey Will, can you pour me a glass of milk? And I was like, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, shaking all over the place. But because I was acting so nervous, they just assumed that it was hitting me really hard, right? So because I got away with it, I was getting kind of cocky, and I was like, man, I wonder what else I could have blamed on that fucking dog, right? We all know the greatest hits, right? The dog ate my homework, we've all heard that one. But what if I was late to work one day? Could I just be like, sorry boss, I rode the dog into the shop today. He's out back if you want to give him the old Yeller special. Oh no, or I could be like, no babe, I'm not cheating. The dog gave me chlamydia. Bestiality isn't cool. I had this fear though. I knew I had to get exposed sooner or later, right? Because you can't just keep that going forever. But that time just came a little sooner than I was ready for. Because I woke up the next morning to find that I had pissed the bed again. Yeah. And my mom came in the room. And I tried to hide it, but I couldn't. And she freaked out naturally because I just killed our dog. And I wasn't going to blame my sister this time because I saw what happened to the last guy. I didn't know what to say. She kind of put me on the spot. So I just looked at her. I looked at the piss. And I looked back at my mom. And I looked back at the piss. And I looked back at my mom. And I said, it's a miracle! That's my time, guys. Thank you.
All right, listen up, degenerates. I got in an argument with my roommate this morning because he's not a very clean person. He's kind of hard to live with. I was really getting on him about it. Please, just clean your side of the room. And he goes, Jacob, if you have such a big problem with it, just do it yourself. And that kind of threw me for a loop because that's exactly what my girlfriend would always say when I'd ask her to put a finger in my butt. Yeah. My ex-girlfriend, actually, we broke up recently. And there's blame to go around, but she would do this one thing that I hated, where she would start conversations with me by saying, Jacob, are you even listening to me? What is that? I don't know. So being single has made me realize I'm really not that good with the ladies. So I bought one of those sex robots. Like full body, fake skin, toes, I was honestly kind of shocked by how realistic this robot was because I couldn't figure out how to turn it on either. So I called up one of my friends, again, just like real sex, and he turned it on way better than I ever could. I don't even have to be in a relationship to get cucked. It's terrible. Oh. I want to try this. The feet and the hands of the robot come off for storage or something. And I want to take one of the feet or one of the hands, cover it in ketchup, put it in the fridge in my dorm, wait for one of my buddies to find it. Just fuck. Oh. Jacob. I don't know. Maybe it's not as funny as a prank as I imagine it would be. It's the fourth grossest thing we've had in our fridge. I think the grossest thing was probably the bull semen. One of my roommates was doing some ag research, and somehow he got stuck with 750 milliliters of bull semen that he had to watch overnight or something. And I found that out after I put it on my BLT. Instagram was down for like 6 hours earlier this week. Anybody notice that? And Facebook and whatever else. But that was like the most peaceful 6 hours of my life. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm using Instagram wrong because I never post anything and I'm on there way too much. I'm always just looking at people's shit. You know, it makes me feel powerful because it's like I know exactly what's going on in your life and you know nothing about me. Nothing. One thing I don't understand though is people are always posting like save the trees and free Hong Kong. I don't understand the free Hong Kong one. I don't know how you keep a monkey that big locked up. He climbed up the Empire State Building. We had to get the military involved. I don't think we should be freeing that. I don't think we should. Oh man. I met this one girl the other day. She was not very smart, probably like an elementary ed major or something. And I guess she didn't understand the concept of like a V card as like a metaphorical thing. She thought it was a real card that they gave out at birth, like a Social Security or something. And I guess she was confused as to why she didn't have one, because if you asked her about hers, she'd say she lost it when she was too young to remember. Thank you guys, that's my talk.
I fucking love ketchup. Anybody else in here like ketchup? Yeah, but I'm very particular about how I want to get my ketchup, you know? I prefer the bottle method, you know? Because with the bottle, there's an art to it, you know? You gotta work it, you gotta find the perfect spot, keep on hitting it, and then boom, you get your ketchup. I hated coming, I'm a junior now, so some of the younger folk might not remember, but in the dining courts, they used to have these big fucking pumps for ketchup. You really had to put your body behind it. And you know, you get a fucking metric ton of ketchup from like one pump. You'd have the guy behind you being like, look at this fucking 2-pump chump. And then all of a sudden he comes in, does like 4, looks at you like, this fucking schmuck. But you know those are fucking half pumps. Fucking bullshit. And then this fucking COVID bullshit hit. Oh my god, ruined fucking ketchup. You have these tiny packets. You gotta squeeze out 4 just to get through the fucking meal. You know, at a point you're just like tired. You're like, you know what if I tried mayo instead? But I've luckily moved off campus, so now, you know, if I ever am going really rough, it's my responsibility to buy my own ketchup now. So, yeah, so, pussy. That's not the punchline, grow up. Pussy's like Play-Doh for people with jawlines. You know, fun to play with and to eat. But, you know, I don't have a jawline, but I use a beard to cover it up. But that's better than my one friend Kyle. He's gonna have to use a beard to cover up his sexuality. But don't worry, that's not the only way he'll disappoint his Tennessee Christian parents. He also loves cannabis a lot. I learned a fun fact about cannabis in DC. Apparently you can't legally buy cannabis, but you can legally give it as a gift. So there are stores you can go to in DC where you can buy a shirt and then be gifted cannabis. Imagine if you go to a fucking whorehouse and it was legal to just be like, you know what, I'll buy these fuzzy fuzzy bracelets and you know what, I'll get complimentary head. Fuck, I had something else. I forgot it. Oh well, that was my shtick.
This is tall. Hello. Just so you all know, I am 4'10". There you go. We've already answered that first question that you had. Thank you. Under 5 feet tall. Woo. I'm never gonna get any taller. I'm old. This sucks. So I figure I should introduce myself with a fun fact. So before I came to Purdue, I went to art school in Kansas City, Missouri. I was a painting major. And my favorite question to answer when you tell people that you're an art major, they're like, what are you gonna do with that? I don't fucking know. What are you gonna do with chemical engineering? Be a fucking nerd? Eat shit. It's very fun, cause it was very weird going to art school and then coming here, because art school, I experienced a lot of things that I have not experienced here. There were a lot of parties there, and every single party had a theme. Everything had to be themed. So there was like the cheetah party, we had the death of the spring semester party, where you dressed like you were going to a funeral and then got so drunk you wanted to die. And then I went to the red party, where you wore red, and then at the end of the night they poured fake blood all over you. Cause fun, art school. You don't have to have a point for anything, you can just call it art. That's what people do. That's how Jeff Koons makes money. He doesn't even touch that shit. I could go on a whole rant about that. So I went to the red party, and I show up, and there's a girl with a shaved head, and she was tall, and I was like, oh, hi. Because I see a pretty girl, and I'm like, hi, I don't know how to talk to you. And she walks up to me, she introduces herself. She's a former student at my college, and we have a nice conversation. She walks away. She comes back up to me later at the party. Party's in full swing, and she goes, hey, do you want to buy some dope? And I go, oh, you mean like weed? And she goes, no. Which is never the answer that you want to that question. Because there's one other thing that dope can mean, and it's heroin. And I went, oh, no, I'm good, thanks. And she goes, oh, do you know anyone who does? And I'm like, I just kind of gesticulated wildly at all of my friends who had coke in their noses, and I was like, I gotta go. I'm gonna go eat my cigarettes back here like we do. Art school was very fun. That was my freshman year. And my sophomore year, I lived off campus. And this was my first apartment ever. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm gonna live by myself. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do. It's gonna be great. So I was touring apartments with my mom, and the first apartment I looked at was the one I ended up getting, because I walk into the meeting and the guy goes, hey, this apartment building is on the Kansas City crime tour. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? He goes, a famous mobster was shot to death out front, and they reenact it once a month. I was like, I was that dumb white girl in the horror movie. I was like, sign me the fuck up, I'm in. Fun fact, my apartment was the one closest to where he was shot. And about a week in, a lot of weird things started happening in this apartment. Now, I was a little bit of a skeptic. I had never really had an experience with ghosts that I remembered. This comes in later. So it was a very small apartment. My cabinet doors would start slamming on their own, and my closet doors would slide open and shut, very violently. And I was like, oh, it's an old building. It probably is just doing that. Okay. But then it started getting more and more violent. And I was like, oh no. This is an issue, isn't it? I'm gonna have to deal with this. It started tearing the posters off of my wall and leaving them in a certain pile in the middle of the room. It was like, fuck Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I fucking hate that movie. And I was like, oh, this is great. I love this. And then eventually, one night I was sleeping. I was watching Parks and Rec, as I do, because I don't like to sleep in the dark, because I'm fucking weird. And I was sleeping, and I woke up, and my TV was flashing black and white. And I was like, oh, that's fucking weird. Huh. And I sit up and I look at it, and it flashes white, and I see a handprint on my TV. And then I see a whole arm, and then I see a whole body pressing on my TV, and I went, this is how people die. And I turned my TV off, because that's what they should have done in The Ring. Turn it off, she can't get out. And then I turned my TV back on to make sure it was fine. And it was, and I was like, oh my God. Eventually, shit kept happening. Stuff would be thrown at me, and it was very weird. And eventually, I just got so fucking mad that I started screaming back at the ghost. I was like, you don't pay rent, all right? You don't get to be slamming doors in this house. You don't pay bills. And fun fact, that is how you get rid of the ghosts. All right, thank you very much.
I matched with a girl on Tinder who wanted me to tutor her in calc. So that's how my week's going. Just like everyone on Tinder, I like travel, and I like travel for the reasons that everyone likes travel. You know, you get to ignore your responsibilities for a week and eat whatever you want, because after you've been on a plane, calories don't matter. But that's what I hate the most about it, the plane, right? The plane and everything leading up to the plane. It's just the worst. Like, minorities, it's not just you that gets stopped by TSA. It's also chubby white guy. I don't know why. It's just a great capacity for holding high explosives. So I get through my stupid little X-ray, and then, you know, like, the TSA always manages to procure, like, the societal rejects, like the losers of the losers, the people who pay for porn. And so I get out, and biggest loser number one just, all right, buddy, I'm gonna need you to step over here. So I walk over. I've been dealing with this shit since I was 16, you know? Whatever. And he's looking me in the eye. There's passion. There's love. He slips on the glove. If this was a rom-com, this is where we would kiss. And he goes straight for my dick. While maintaining the passion. I'm looking my husband-to-be in the eyes, and I'm already getting a handy. It's growing great. Thank God he missed my anus. That's where I keep the gun. Then my husband-to-be begins stroking my belly. Because that's where the bomb would be. And after assessing that I'm not a terrorist threat and simply just an American health statistic, he moves me onto the gate. But, you know, I'm getting time to sit in the gate and just reminisce over this experience, because you always have to arrive to the airport like 2 fucking hours early. How do they manage that, right? Because in case the plane gets there early, right? I understand a plane is late. You know, shit happens. But how the fuck is a plane ever early? Did they find a shortcut in the straight line between airports? Did they, like, backwards long jump in the plane? Like, oh, we'll clip through some fucking buildings. And once I get on the plane, we'd figure everything would be fine. But I always seem to have the worst luck when it comes to sitting next to people, right? I got the 3 Bs. Babies, bigots, and biggins. The babies just cry, and, you know, it's not their fault. They've never been dropped out of a plane before. The bigots are worse because they try to talk to me, and I hate that. They just see another bearded white guy, and they're like, ha, finally. Someone who agrees. But it's kind of nice because I don't watch the news. And so I get to, like, keep up on what their version of reality is. Like, I'm starting to not believe that Obama was, like, he had so many certificates during his presidency. Like, he was American president, leader of the shadow government, and employee of the month at Quiznos for 3 months running. I'm just starting to not believe it. And then the biggins, you know, I'm already a big guy, and when I'm sat next to another big guy for like 3 hours, it just ends like virgin sex. Sweaty, sticky, neither party is satisfied. And I'll try and liven the mood. I'll hail down the stewardess who has been in the air longer than she's seen her family, and excuse me, stewardess, I would like some sour cream and onion chips and a mini water. All right, sir, that'll be $500. We are a cashless airline. And so what am I supposed to do here, right? Like, I'm an American man. I'm not gonna be slightly hungry and thirsty on a flight for 3 hours. Please, I'd rather die. And so I get my chips and my water, and I assume they like charge them up so much because the movies are free, but the movies are never quality. They're always garbage. Like they go onto Rotten Tomatoes and they're like, go for 30% or less. We only want those. They always have the crudes. I always go with the crudes. God, just the Nick Cage caveman really relates to me. He says grug and I'm like, hell yeah. This guy gets it. But the plane finally lands. I'm done watching the crudes for now. And maybe I can walk off now. No, I'm stuck behind the woman who's very insistent on getting her 100 pounds worth of cargo off of this plane. She will not receive help. She does not want help. She is 4'10" and cannot reach her carry-ons. So after I finally get off this circus in the sky, I can finally enjoy the travel that my Tinder bio says I love so much. Thank you all very much.
Oh, nice. How does this work? Okay. Oh, why do I have to close, man? Come on. So, hi guys, my name's Prabhav, if you didn't catch that. I'm from New Jersey. Anybody from the East Coast here?
Yes,
Yeah.
Not me.
Who said not me? You're from the West Coast, aren't you? I don't understand this East Coast, West Coast type of stuff, because you guys know that both coasts are drowning, right? Like, soon enough we're going to be calling West Lafayette, Indiana, the coast of the United States. Anyway, it's my first time doing stand-up too, and first time holding a microphone. I'm standing in front of impressionable college students, so obviously I'm gonna read you guys my manifesto. Let's see here. End of the world. Foot fetish. Actually, I'm gonna talk about the time I got hit in the balls by a tennis ball. I'm with friends, obviously goofing around, not actually playing tennis. I'm doing like under the leg and stuff like that. And I obviously missed once. And my friend hit this ball so hard, it was like he was Tom Cruise from Top Gun. He was like gunning straight for my balls. And he hits me in the balls, and my vision starts to gray out. Now, every guy here knows the pain that I just went through. Ladies, pepper spray is too easy. You gotta kick a guy in the balls, okay? Okay, like, if you want to do a double combo, be my guest. Like, pepper his eyes, and then, kick him in the balls and call it pepper balls, like a Christmas gift. I even got a new motto for you guys, ready? Roses are red, violets are blue, pepper his eyes, and take out his two. Yeah, so my vision starts to gray out, and I'm like, fuck, if this is what colorblind people see, oh man. And I go up to my gym teacher, I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So she takes me to the bathroom, and my first thought is, I'm gonna try and piss this out. Like, I'm gonna try and piss the color back into my eyes, okay? So, I pull my pants down, and I'm taking a piss, and I look up, and I see myself in the mirror, and I'm like, this is normal, right? And that's when I black out, okay? That's when I black out. I feel myself falling back, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna be sprawled out on the bathroom floor in high school, okay? This is not good. It's not going well. And that's when my vision comes back for a second, when I'm like almost at the bottom. It's like God made the world all over again, let there be light. And I look over to my left, and this girl comes out of the stall. It turns out I peed in the sink. That's the story of why I'm in Indiana now. Can't do Rutgers. Can't do Rutgers. Yeah, this next joke has no transition, but my dad's a workaholic. He loves to work. Like, he's always on the computer, and I can't, like, he's just not processing anything else, pun intended. He's like so into it. The only thing that gets his attention is action movies. The whole Michael Bay, like kicking people and punching people, all that stuff. So one time I went up to him and I was like, Dad, I failed the test, And nothing, nada. He's just typing his email, locked into the computer. And then I say, Dad, I got detention, you need to be there on Friday. And still, nothing. He doesn't even glance at me. He's just straight staring into the computer. I'm thinking to myself, how am I gonna get a grown-ass man's attention? So I kicked him in the balls. That's all I have for you guys. My